Social services are programs and assistance we provide to improve the well-being and quality of life of individuals and communities. So these are programs and assistance, right? Social services. Now, listen to what socioeconomics are. Socioeconomics are principles, not programs, but they are principles we commit to practice that puts us in the best social and economic positions possible. So the fundamental difference between social services and socioeconomics is one one is based on programs, another one is based on principles, right? The one that's based on programs provides assistance to make your life better. The one that's based on principles, it doesn't necessarily provide assistance as much as it provides the principles you need to put to practice so that you can be put in the best social and economic position possible. So that's my whole thing. That's my whole philosophy. That's my whole thesis. And and I'm leaning in on this. And so what I want to say before I give y'all these call to actions is number one, you've got to you've got to elevate your consciousness, elevate your awareness, elevate your conviction to a place that you see the demand to be a part of the socioeconomic responsibility you have as a member of your community. That's something that you have to do. Somebody like me, I come along, I'm a preacherpreneur. I have this belief, this philosophy, this thesis, this thought process. I have this conviction that we don't just need to provide spiritual services. We don't just need to provide social services, but someone like me comes along and says, yeah, outside of the spiritual services and the social services that we are committed to provide to each other, to our families, to our communities, there's this socioeconomic thing. There's this set of principles that we need to commit to practice so that we can all be put in the best position socially and the best position economically. That's not going to happen just because one person in a group has that conviction. That's going to happen because the overwhelming majority of people who are in that community, they adopt that same belief. They adopt that same philosophy. They adopt those same values and views. And even when you don't have the same conviction as that other person has, over time, you start digesting the data that you're given. And then something wakes up in you and you realize that, oh, wow, I'm a part of the solution. I don't want to be a part of the problem. Because if all I want to do is see myself and my family and my community advance just spiritually, or if I just want to see myself and my family and my community advance just socially, and I forget the socio-economic aspect of this idea of advancement, I am actually a part of the problem. I'm not part of the solution. Okay. So that's the first thing. I want all of you to continue. I'm not going to act like you don't have a level of consciousness and conviction, but I would say I want you to continue to lean into it, because when you listen to somebody like me and you watch what somebody's like me doing, especially moving forward, I am making an even greater commitment within the next 5 years to take this same belief, this same conviction, and live it out myself to prove that it works, to prove that it is the way, to prove that it might be it might be the only way that we are actually in a position to win. We're not even talking about the spiritual side of things, because again, we've already checked that box. But we've got to get away from just having this social service mentality, Because when we have a social service mentality, all we're either looking to receive, or even worse at times, all we're looking to give to people are these programs and this assistance that helps to improve the quality of their life, but it really doesn't put them in the best position socially. It really doesn't put them in the best position economically. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Historically speaking, I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. If the black church, I know my wife and I, we pastor a black church. If we did nothing socially for black people, like if we just did nothing socially, in which we do, but just to make a point, if we did nothing socially for our community, meaning that if we never gave away food, if we never gave away clothes, if we never gave away gas cards, if we never did any of this stuff, there are enough communities and churches, particularly white churches and other communities, who are going to do those things, and it ain't going to change, it ain't going to move the needle enough to put the people who are recipients of those services in the best economic position possible. It just doesn't. If it would have, it would have already happened. Now, again, I'm not saying that we're not going to do our part, because we do have a spiritual responsibility. We do have a social responsibility. But one of the convictions that my wife and I, we've always had as ministry and marketplace leaders is, yes, we want to make sure spiritually you have a relationship with God, that you are clean and you're pure, and that you're clear, and that you're not bombarded by demons, and you're not living in a limited state spiritually. Yes, socially, we want to make sure that we give the handouts that are needed, because if you're hungry right now, yes, we got to work on empowering you, but here, eat something while we help you. But at a certain point, we've got to go beyond the spiritual and the social, and we have to move into the economic. And that's why we've always been educators. We've always educated people on making the best financial decisions personally, the best decisions professionally, with career, with their businesses. That's why we're on this call right now. This ain't just something I'm doing because I want to make money and you came through a funnel. This is a spiritual mission that I have, but it's also a part of a socio-economic mission that I have. So I'm not just challenging all of you, but I am asking, like begging all of you, continue to open yourself up to an elevated awareness, elevate your awareness, and open yourself up to a greater conviction for the importance of socioeconomics. Again, when you are socioeconomically aware, when you have a socioeconomic conviction, let me say it again. That means you are aware of and have a conviction of the fact that there are principles that you and I need to commit to practice that will put us in the best social and economic position possible. Another term that helps to explain, another term that helps to explain socioeconomics is a term that you might have heard before. It's called group economics. It's called group economics. It's when a group of people come together, they align their values, they align their views, they align their beliefs, their practices, their principles, they align them so that they can be put in the best social and economic position. So that means they buy from each other, they trade with each other, they partner with each other, they do business with each other. Can't nobody tell you that they are socioeconomically woke. Can't nobody tell you that they believe with a conviction in group economics and they not working with other people who believe what they believe. They ain't doing business with people. They're not being intentional. They're just not. They're just talking. So I want to challenge you and I want to ask you and really beg you to do that, because the next 3 to 5 years, I believe we have a competitive advantage to do something very special. And I'm not just telling you to do something that I'm not doing.